Hello, I'm Hanan Bashir. I'm currently pursuing chemistry from IIT Bombay. Today, I'm going to give you an overview of lecture 4 of biomedical engineering. Today's topic is neural muscular junction, synaptic transmission, and muscle contraction. So, how does our muscle and neuron integrate together? So, organization of skeletal muscle. So, a skeletal muscle attached via connective tissue called tendons to the bones. Tendons connect the muscles to the bones. A skeletal muscle is made up of bundle of cells, and these are called muscle fascicles. Each fascicle is made of several muscle fibers and cells. So, this is a neuromuscular junction where the neurons can connect with the muscles. A series of events in NM transmission. So, how does the transmission of signals happen? So, action potential arrives at the action terminal. So, first the terminal is charged. The voltage gated Ca2 plus channels open. So, Ca2 plus channels open and the Ca2 plus fill inside the axon terminal. This is the presynaptic terminal. A synaptic vesicles fuse to the axonal membrane and release ACH. The ACH are responsible or the for the opening of these gates, and these gates bind to the receptors for the postsynaptic membrane and sarcolemma, plasma membrane of the muscle fiber. This ACH binding causes channels in sarcolemma to open and Na plus flows inside, and hence the action potential peak arrives. After it, the depolarization occurs by K plus moving out of the muscle fiber. More Na plus enter than K plus ion exists, producing a local change in membrane polarization called the end-plate potential. This is a local depolarization. And effects of ACH are terminated by its breakdown by enzyme acetylcholinesterase and diffusion away from the junction. So this is how it occurs. So these two parts we have discussed already. The first part we have discussed in this lecture. The skeletal muscle fiber action potential occurs similar to the one which we discussed in the previous lecture. Then organization of a skeletal muscle. How does a skeletal muscle is built? So first it is built from the skeletal muscle made up of many fascicles. Fascicle is made up of several muscle fiber and muscle cell. Each muscle fiber is made up of several myofibrils, the cell organelles, which are rod-like contractile elements. So they contract easily when it gets a particular voltage difference across its membrane. And the myofibril consist of sarcomeres arranged end to end. A sarcomere, a segment of myofibril, is a contractile unit composed of myofilaments made up of contractile proteins. And myofilaments are two types: actin thin and myosin thick. Steps involved in excitation, contraction, coupling, and cross-beam cycling. So the action potential travel across the sarcolemma. AP travels down the T tubes. Ca2 plus ions are released from the sarcoplasmic reticulum and into the cytosol. Afterwards, the myosin heads attached to the actin filaments, forming the cross bridge that triggers the muscle contraction. And here the muscle contracts and the cross bridge pulls the actin filament towards the sarcomere center, causing the actin to slip past the myosin, resulting in the shortening of the sarcomere. The anatomy of a neural circuit. So this is how a neural circuit is made. So this is a monosynaptic circuit where two neuron and one synapse. This is three neuron, two synapse. It is called disynaptic circuit. And this is polysynaptic where there is more than three and more than two synapses. The anatomy of a neural circuit, the sensory neurons and the relay neurons are part of it. So the sensory neuron, they carry the signal to the brain from the affected region. Then the motor neuron will carry information from the central nervous system to the target site and sends output. The interneuron is used to transfer signal between the two neurons, participates in local aspects of circuit, and the direction of information flow in a circuit forms the basis of understanding the function. Then myotatic reflex, stretch and reflex. So this is how a natural reflex works. So when we get external external input, we our sensory neurons are activated. These neurons directly don't go to our brain. Instead, there's an interneuron. These interneuron are linked to the motor nerve. So these have already been programmed to send out the chemicals such that our motor neuron works in a particular fashion. So this is a knee-jerk reflex. So whenever an hammer hits on our knee, then our sensory nerves will transmit this to the motor nerves and hence will cause this knee-jerk reflex. Then this is the same example, just showing the intermediate path that the sensory neuron first will receive it, then motor neuron, then interneuron, and then the motor neuron flexor muscle. So this is our part of our total CNS. The associative cognitive system, sensory system, and motor system. Associative cognitive system is the one where we think and properly process the information. Sensory is where we take in information from the external or internal environment, and motor system is where we give out our responses in form of the motor movements. Then organization of nerve cell and axon in the peripheral and the central nervous system. So peripheral nervous system consists of ganglia and nerves, gray matter at the back of our head, and the white matter region of brain and spinal cord ridge in axon tract. In the CNS, within the gray matter, cell body are arranged as nucleus and nuclei and cortex and cortices. Within the white matter, there are tracts, collection of axons and commissures. Then distributes the characteristic of neural system, unity of function, specification of information represented by orderly manner. Then select brain regions show specific connectivity, subdivisions, system into subdivision and submodalities, and not all neural systems are neatly organized. And the example is the attention and memory. CNS and this is PNS. As I discussed, central nervous system consists of all the spinal cord and this nervous system, nerves which come out, and the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves consist of the peripheral nervous system. So the motor nerves and the skeletal muscle altogether compose for the actions like movement, limbs, and of the whole body. And the motor subsystem, movement of the limbs and whole body are produced by spatial and temporal pattern of muscle contraction. And these neural circuits in the brain and spinal cord orchestrate this pattern of muscle activity. This is the diagram of the parts all which we have been talking about. This is cerebrum, R and L cerebral cortex hemisphere. This is brainstem. This is cerebral R and L cerebral hemispheres, and this is basal ganglia. Then motor subsystem responsible for movement. So we know that these parts which we have discussed is involved for movement. We have to keep in mind the functions of basal ganglia, which is initiation of intended movement and suppression of unwanted movement. So it's like a gate. And this is cerebellum, which is coordination of ongoing movements. So this was all for lecture 3. I mean lecture 4. Thanks for watching.